Hey, everyone. It's Russ Johns with Future Media TV and my dear friend and co-host, Marion LaSalle. How are you this fine day, Marion?
I'm fantastic. As you can tell, I'm in a different location today.
I was just going to
I am
say, you're
I'm
traveling
traveling.
around the countryside, being all everywhere, doing everything. It's so,
I am.
is it raining today?
It is not raining. It is actually gorgeous outside. And I'm way out in the middle of the country. They call it Green Acres out here. There's llamas and horses and water, and there's just all kinds of wonderful things going on out here.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
I want to talk about two things today.
Let's talk
One
about two things.
is networking, which our guest has had to reschedule due to technical difficulties,
Yep,
which is fine. I mean, I want her comfortable. I want her equipment working well. So that's fine. Well, no problem at all.
right.
But she is a fantastic networker. So I want to talk about networking and I want to talk about running your business all online or at least mostly online so that you can travel. You can do what I'm doing and work from anywhere in the world as long as you have good, strong internet and power. I've noticed that
Yeah.
you have to have power too.
I think you're going to have power interrupted here today, so we're going to have to
Oh,
figure that out. But not sure when you'll be able to have power back on. So,
according to them, it's 10 minutes.
yeah,
Okay.
okay.
So, so let's talk about traveling with your business first. Let's talk about how we can do
What
that.
do you mean by
Okay.
that, Marion?
Well, all right. So I am traveling for 2 solid weeks, and I can't afford to take 2 weeks off of work. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but I actually have so much fun working. I don't want to, right?
You know, isn't that ironic that people say, "What are you doing?" Well, I can say I'm working, I'm creating, right? Wherever
That's
we
right.
are, we're always doing something, creating,
That's right.
surfing, learning something new, learning technology. And that's just what we do. I mean, that's just the way that's the way I'm put together. That's what I like to do. So, um, they say, what do you do for your free time? What do you do for your free time? Well, I like to
Okay.
create. I
You
like
like
to do what I'm doing.
some people might call it working, some people might call it playing.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, there are times where there are things that I don't necessarily want to do that I need to do that you know, I have to, administrative stuff, you know,
Admin
accounting.
stuff, you know.
Yeah, I don't like that stuff. I don't.
Okay. So there is one exception, and that is when I go see my kids and my grandkids because guess what? There is no getting online. There is nothing that you can do. I have to be 100% there with them wherever they are playing baseball or whatever it is they're doing.
Yes.
Other than that, I'm creating and having fun. So just I don't know.
So how does
So
that translate into business activity that you can use to travel?
so I tried to set myself up for success.
Hmm.
So I made sure that, I had a good, decent phone, good signal. I prepared ahead of time for another place to go in case there was some issue ahead of time, like a hotel lobby or someplace that was nice, maybe, near Niagara Falls with the falls in the back. Oh, but it was so loud I couldn't do it there. You see, you have to test these things.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times I mean, you go into a restaurant or a diner or something like that. And a lot of times the wireless is weak or the environment's too loud so you have to go around and discover what works for you. A lot of people can
Right.
work in very noisy, chaotic environments.
Yeah, I can tune that out sometimes. Like if I'm at a conference, it's kind of exciting to have all this hubbubloo all around you, people talking and, different conversations going on. But if I'm really in the zone, I like it kind of quiet.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you this, and I don't know if you can have it playing in the background, even just testing it out here today, but your lounge music is fantastic.
Ah,
What a great music to work to.
And it's the thing that I like is music that doesn't have words, because when it has words, then I start listening to the words, and not that I ever remember the words in songs, but the melody and everything is, I just like that relaxing beat, that, kind of a melodic thing. And it's very easy. I could put headphones on and listen to music and work almost anywhere. So you wanted to talk about something else as well.
So networking. Okay. Networking is very important to me because I love people. I love high energy, kind, gentle, helpful people who really like to connect and work together. That I'm seeking that out a lot of times. So no wonder I thrive in the team atmosphere, not in a corporate culture. Because if you ask me, the corporate culture wants you to work as a team, but when it comes to pay time and bonuses, you better have all done it yourself. Otherwise, you can't ask for a raise, right? You can't say, well, my team and we all deserve a raise. No, they want to hear how much money that you made or how much progress you made as an individual. So I think it's a little different in the corporate. But when you own your own business and you can network with other business owners and work together for the same goals,
Yeah.
it's where magic happens.
Well, we talked yesterday, we were talking about joint ventures and working with people that, are like-minded individuals that have a complementary service that, work with us. We can't do it all. You're the one that, do what you do best and farm out the rest. Delegate. And you've taught me a lot about the ability to delegate, because I have a tendency to want to do everything, And so when you learn how to share the responsibility, it's so much easier to be able to do that, work together, and build something bigger than you can do by yourself, right?
That's right. Just like the gentleman who just walked in the door, Steve. Oh, Steve, join us
Oh, yeah,
this morning
Steve.
if you can.
I haven't seen Steve for a while.
I know. Join us, Steve. Come on in. Oh, my goodness. There are certain people and certain industries that work very well together, and no one feels any competition or anything that's,
Yeah, it's co-opetition.
Co-opetition. I like that. I really do like that.
It's that old adage, if you can help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you need, right?
Right. That's right. Well, for those of you who have just joined us, thinking that you were going to see Amy today, I'm very sorry. We had some technical difficulties and she couldn't join us today, but we'll reschedule and we'll have her back on.
She couldn't get her speakers working. Hold on. Let's join Steve. Steve's coming in the house. There he is.
Hi, Steve.
How are you guys?
Doing well, doing well. You have a different setup, a different camera than you did last time, or it's a different.
Indeed. No, we've moved house, and it's still pretty chaotic here. But I'm glad to say we've still got tea, so we're all right.
As long as you got tea, you'll be okay, right? So how you been, man? Indeed. It's been a while.
Good. It has, yeah. The house move and various other things took my time, but we're still thinking marketing, guys, all the time. Yes. Thinking marketing.
Yeah.
Right.
How's your project coming along?
I'm at the stage where I've animated all I'm prepared to animate for free, and now we're seeking funding to pursue the thing further.
Have you considered crowdfunding?
Yes, but I think this time round I'm going to try Patreon. Have you heard of Patreon?
Yes, I have. Patreon, where you can actually ask somebody to be your patriarch and contribute every month.
That's it. In return, you commit to giving something every month, or you say, I'm going to do this particular thing.
Exactly.
I think I like it because you can accept micropayments, and it's not this big kind of project. It's just an ongoing kind of, hey, get used to me, I'm going to give you this kind of deal.
It's very cool. I'll continue to broadcast as long as you continue to pay me.
Basically.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. So you don't have that up yet. You're just considering that?
I'm going to go for that, but at the moment, I used to collect loads of things which I don't need. So I've been eBaying. I'm eBaying like a crazy person right now. So that, which, you know, is all part of the marketing. I've been eBaying for years, but it's all part of the marketing, you know, thought process. Because how do you interest somebody in something that perhaps 10 other people are offering? You know, it's all a challenge.
It's a game, huh?
It's a game.
Yeah. Marion, have you ever eBayed much?
No, I remember when I first got online and the eBay thing was going, and it just, I don't know. I just never really got into it. I bought a couple of things. I sold a couple of books, maybe. I don't remember. But no, it really never interests me because I don't like packing it up and going to the post office. I think that was the big deal.
But we've moved, and now the post office is just one street away. So now we've got it just brilliant.
You ever, Walter asks, you ever gone to Costco and tried some of the free samples?
No, we don't have a Costco here. No.
It's a local box store that's over here that it really, it has a lot of things. I mean, it's kind of random, but.
Let's talk about marketing.
Yeah, let's talk about marketing.
Okay.
Marketing ideas that work.
We can market ourselves. How? We can market ourselves personally or our business or both, right? Sometimes I think people get a little nervous about marketing themselves. Don't you find that people are a little leery of marketing themselves? And then other people are just shameless. Like they want to shove it down your throat.
Yeah. Buy my stuff. Look at me. Here I am.
There you go.
So what's a good balance, Marion? Or
well,
what do you personally care for?
Well, I was just going to say, it depends on your personality. Me, I just want to share everything. So that seems to work very well for me. So if I'm doing something really cool, I want to tell everybody about it.
Right.
And usually people want to know how I did it. So I end up training. So I like to train. I love training. I can train anybody, just about, unless they ask me questions about a Mac, and then I go,
Not for us.
Sorry.
So,
but I think that is my personality, sharing everything and then training you if you don't know about it. So if I know of a new technique or a new tool or a new system, and it's working for me or my clients, I want to talk about it and train.
Okay, so by building authority through sharing information is a great way of doing that. What about you, Steve? What do you like to use as a tool for marketing that works?
I would say on YouTube, unless you're already famous, the only way is to train people, i.e. show and tell, on an ongoing basis.
Consistently?
I was doing this, I beg your pardon?
Consistently. But I'll tell you what I'm about to do, which could be interesting, and I'll report back, is, so I did YouTube a lot for maybe 4 or 5 years, but in the last 8 months, I've had to concentrate on the project, so I've not had the time to make it. Now, I've just put a few little tentative things in, because to me, YouTube goes hand in hand with your Facebook page and everything else. It all has to be a kind of ongoing whole. And you just put a few little things out against it. Is this audience still alive? I have several audiences, several YouTube channels. And, you know, in some cases, no, by not being consistent, I'm going to have to build from scratch. But in other cases, they are ready to pick up again. So that's quite interesting. And what I'll come back to you on in the future is how much effort does it require to get back to that point where you were when you were posting regularly.
So to answer your question, I totally agree with Marianne. I think it's a great attitude, Marianne. If you're going through life just joyfully sharing what you know, you will attract people, and it is an effective form of marketing. You see, the thing is with YouTube is once you've made a certain number of videos and you've got a certain following, it doesn't even have to be that large. It just needs to be, say, 1,000+ subscribers. They look upon you as the expert, even if you're not, even if you're just sharing the journey as you go. And of course, there's different levels of expertise. You know, as long as you're a few steps ahead of the person that's coming to you, you're the expert in their eyes. So that is the beauty of content marketing in a nutshell.
And content marketing is huge this year. I mean, it's growing and increasing. Just like we're doing here, creating this content is one way of illustration and sharing information and producing content, right?
Yes, that's right. I'm so sorry. Can I come back? I think we've got workmen in the house today. I think they want me. So
wanted to say hi and check in and make sure you're doing all right. We haven't seen you for a while, so thanks for dropping in.
Bye, Steve.
Okay.
Good to see you.
Take care. So he brings up a good point, Marion. What are some other ways that you have developed content that really resonates with your audience?
Well, my audience really likes my smile. For some reason, almost weekly, sometimes daily, I get people that say, you know, I look for you on Facebook just so I can see your smile, because you're smiling everywhere you go. You're having a good time. You're smiling. And you know what? Gee whiz. I mean, who would have thought that a smile would, you know, make somebody's day? So we can pick things out of ourselves that people are attracted to. Now, people are attracted to your beard. People come up to you every time we go somewhere. Somebody will come up and they'll either try to, you know, grab it and feel it, or they'll ask you about it, how long you've been growing that thing. They just think it's so cool. So it's
a brand, right?
I agree.
Yeah, and smiles are free.
Smiles are free, right? So I think that depending on your personality and the business that you're in, like if you're in funerals, you might not want to pick the smile as your
maybe
I'm just saying.
Maybe a beard.
Maybe a beard would work better. Right?
I don't know. It's just one of those things that
some people use a color. Like I have a friend, she's a social media expert, and she uses black and white. That's her trademark. You won't see her in any other color. She is the black and white queen, and everybody knows it, and they talk about it, they look for it, they compliment her on it.
Yes.
It's one of those things. And some people wear red, or, you know, they have a certain style.
Or black.
Yes, black with a gray beard. Although I'm gonna dye your beard just for a test, I think, one day.
What color? Red?
I don't know. We should do a poll.
Yeah, we should do a poll. What color should I dye my beard?
Purple.
Purple. Purple works. Purple works.
So that, you know, you're a branding expert and people love how you brand them. When our clients come to us and say, you know, we want a new brand, you're just so good at picking out, you know, what's going to work for them. So I think it could be anything. It could be a style, a type of font, a color scheme. It doesn't have to be one color. It could be like black and red, you know, or purple and green, whatever it is. Not really purple and green. But style, I think, has a lot to do with marketing too.
Being recognized. You know, when you think about branding, you have to imagine, you know, Coca-Cola's been Coca-Cola. The font is there. The red color is there. Starbucks, you know, you think of Starbucks, all of these images that are planted in your head subconsciously day after day after day after day, that is branding. How many times have we walked into, I mean, we can't go anywhere, it seems. You know, I follow you around and you know somebody somewhere every time I walk in the room, right? People recognize me, but they don't know me like they know you. You know, because you've networked for years, right?
I love networking.
And I'm,
just
you know,
fits me.
I network. I enjoy networking. However, you've been doing it much longer here in Houston than I have. So,
You know who taught me was Lady Lou.
Lady Lou,
Louise Dewey.
how's she doing? I hope she's well.
She has the flu right now, so
Yeah.
please send her some
Healing
good
thoughts.
healing vibes. There you go.
So branding,
Okay,
it's
now
amazing to see.
Wait a minute. Okay, so my first thought when you talked about branding a brand new company, because we've had companies that come to us and they have a brand new idea and they need branding, and I hear you say, you know, okay, we're going to go with this color, this style, and my first thought was, there's so much noise out there. Is it really going to make a difference? But I found that it does. It really, really does. And so, can you talk about that a little bit, about how, you know, there's millions of companies out there. Why would a little brand help?
Well, think of it this way. Imagine, if you will, every company started with nothing, right? Some of them accelerated quickly, went up. And what you want to do is you know, you have to have a profile, something, a collection of ideas that are consistent over time that people can hang on to, whether it be an image, a color, logo, a theme. You know, when you think about Nike doesn't sell shoes. They sell the opportunity to improve, right? They sell this idea, this concept to move forward.
Oh, you're right.
You know, they're more than shoes.
Wow,
You know?
you're right. They sell fitness, right?
Yeah, they sell fitness.
Movement. Walking, running.
It doesn't matter. Clothing. I mean, I want to feel fit, I want to look fit, I want to be fit. That's you know, that's the brand around a little shoes, right?
Wow, yeah.
And that little moniker that they use on the side of their shoes and everything else, I mean, that was developed when they were in their infancy, right? I mean, Phil Knight, you know, created his first shoe on a waffle iron, right?
Oh, no, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I mean, literally, you know, it's so, Erica, that is a great question. That is a great question. Can we pin that question?
Yes.
Let's pin that question up here. How do you brand a brand new company who's unclear on their own brand?
Ooh, okay. This is where Russ is a genius. So hold on, everybody.
So this, and I'm not the do all authority. I mean, people have spent years in psychology and marketing and design and all of these elements. And a lot of times it takes a team to really, you know, create the entire brand. You know, you have the portfolio, you have the color scheme, you have the font selection, you have the style sheet, right? That that's your branding profile, if you will. However, what Eric is talking about is incredibly important for everyone to understand, is that before you can set up a brand, before you can set up an identity, you have to understand what you stand for. You have to understand, this is something that I'm going to pursue. So if you're Elon Musk or you're dealing with SpaceX versus Tesla, you know, it's not as much about the product as it is about the vision, right? The vision is much bigger. So you're selling this vision of sustainability in the future generations, right?
Okay, so let's cut through all the clutter and just talk about the feeling, right?
Yeah.
What is it that you want your customers to feel? So what I was thinking, what you said earlier about Nike, right? So what does Nike want you to feel? Fit, right? It wants you to feel like you can do it, right?
Motivated. more inspired, you know.
So if you were talking to a client that was unclear about their brand, you have to ask them their why.
Exactly. Like Simon
You,
Sinek says,
you,
discover your why. What is it that motivates you? Why do you want to start this business? What is it that motivates you? Is it going to make people enjoy life? Is it going to help them along their journey? Is it going to assist them in articulating their story, sharing? I mean, look at our why. We are helping others share their story.
right.
We are helping others. Future Media TV is all about this organic movement toward sharing your story, being able to articulate your ideas in video, audio, words, and teaching that and sharing that and being able to help others along the way. And that's our story, and our branding is developing toward that end goal. And Erica brings up a good point. Sometimes it's a journey. There are a lot of times where business owners need to go through a couple of generations of ideas before they really lock into a final design.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to really interview them. It's just like
that's why people do polls and they do these testing. They have this whole audience of people, and they ask them how they felt about a commercial or whatever. I mean, because when we're trying to create it, let's face it, we're too close. We've got to have an expert like you that can see it from a different perspective to look at how other people are feeling about it. Because it's all about feeling. I'm going to come back to that again and again. Feeling.
It's the emotional
How do you
attachment
make
that
me
you have.
feel? You make me feel anxious, happy, confident. Oh, you know what?
What?
There was Valor Kingdom. Sorry, I don't know your name. He talked about sampling. So that's a great marketing technique. He was talking about Costco and how Costco and also Sam's Club. It talks to you. There's a little kiosk, and it says, "Hey, you want a sample?" And I noticed the other day they don't really have any physical samples, so they were willing to sample something by email. So they said, just stop by here, put your Sam's card number in here, and we'll send you an email with a link to something. I mean, so you don't have to have a physical product to sample. I thought that was ingenious.
Well, look at all the companies that have really exploded as a result of giving things away, right? I mean, one of the better examples that we're probably familiar with in the digital world is Dropbox. If you sign somebody, if I send you a link for a free space, they're going to give you more free space, right? Did we lock up? Marion is at a location that just lost power. So, and I love Dropbox, Erica. And they gave away space and generating this atmosphere of abundance. You can never run out of abundance, right? So giving this space away was a way that they could actually increase membership. And then by increasing membership, the majority or a portion of those members are going to become paid members. And it's just a matter of being able to put that in place and then generate revenue as a result of the paid membership, creating revenue for the infrastructure. Now, I don't know recently if they're making money or not. Somebody may know that. So yeah. So CBD Care, they send out samples. There are so many that there are so many other examples of sending out samples and sharing that piece of information. You go to food samples, restaurants, they have appetizers. It's an easy way to purchase an item from the menu, possibly taste something. There's always examples of sharing this piece of information. We can do it in the digital age as well. the ability to share online has never been more prevalent than it is today. So we have an opportunity to make a huge difference in our life and make sure that we can share with millions, if not billions, of people nowadays. So it's amazing time, and I really truly appreciate everything that's going on here at Future Media TV. If you haven't shared this show with anyone, I'd really appreciate any time you can share this show, send it out, tweet, Facebook. I really appreciate everybody being here today. I'm going to sign off. We've got another show coming up at 9:30. Got to prepare for. So join us on Tools, Tips, and Teamwork. Ted Lehman is going to be here at 9:30 today. We got several shows today. Archie C. Elliott is going to be here 11:30 noon. A couple of special guests in the healthcare world. At 2 o'clock, we have Ernesto with Biggie's Fit Games and Fitness. People, there's a lot going on, and I just love sharing this information. And thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I'm Russ Johns, Future Media TV, and we're here every Tuesday and Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Central Time. So love to see you here anytime. Thanks, everyone. Erica, Walter, Team Events, freemium model. Yeah, they call it the freemium model. It's love you guys, and we'll see you soon. Take care.